it's not like I've done my international business management course and degree. You know that paper you get after you graduate, which means jack, right? After you graduate, try to make your mundane or your journey enjoyable. Like it comes down to the basics, right? It's not before we jump into the product, before we jump into the technicalities. What I'm more interested in knowing who I'm working with, the basics of them, right? How they as a person, right? I'm not saying I'm not looking for a goody goody. I'm not looking for a person who's pure hearted. I'm looking for someone who I want to work together with, spend weekends with, right? Because I'm going to spend my time and effort with them. That's more valuable to me than my money I'm going to make, because I believe that's very crucial for me, at least in our age. I like to work. I like to essentially, I hate to use the word hustle. At the same time, I would love to kind of enjoy and enjoy the benefits out of it as well. In the sense that I'd love to enjoy meeting people and a little bit of the fun nature of it, because I believe in our 20s, essentially my age right now, I'm very experimental, with things in general, life, people, work, or anything of that sort, right? Because I have nothing to lose. I have no commitments.
Yeah.
I'd have to send money back home, right?
Hi everybody, welcome to the Dollar Diaries. Today we got kicked out of our regular spot, so we are here in a different place with a good friend of ours. Meet Aditya.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
You can look at us though.
No, good to be here with you guys after some time of conversation. So,
Yeah, a lot of conversations. We've been trying to get you on the podcast for a couple of times, and
You're
you were
busy
ghosting us.
I was ghosting. Blame it on me. No, but it feels good to see with you guys and see the setup. Not gonna lie, the first impression is the setup is insane. Like we have like one for the setup, but you guys, is really good though. Like it shows. I think today's age podcast, the differentiation is if you have good quality or not.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
I think content doesn't matter. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry has a podcast. So
Yeah, content matters to a point where if your content and the message is not clear per se, then it kind of, the one redeeming factor is the quality of the audio and video. So when we started, we were testing out a different method where we were recording everything, audio, video, all on OBS on a laptop. And what happened is like the first
Live
three
switching,
episodes. Yeah, we were live switching the scenes, right? So 3 cameras would be connected to the laptop. And what happened is that we found out like after recording 3 full episodes that the video was going and the audio was like 5 minutes away. And like it was such a pain to like edit it. We just let those 3 episodes go. So even if you go to our first, second, third episode, it's absolute jack. Right. So but then we figured out, then we brought in Liz. We did an episode with Liz, and Liz told us like, why are you doing all this when you can do it lot simpler, right? So we started this approach. It's a lot of cameras, but it's not as mobile as it used to be, right? That one used to be a lot more mobile in nature, right? We can just move the laptop and we can switch. But here it's a little bit less mobile, but I think it largely works. But yeah, that's now we are here in a new setup, new environment. I don't know if this is going to be the same environment next week, but we testing new things out.
why
right?
not? Why not?
So tell us about yourself. We know you as Inspire DXB's
Inspire me.
Inspire Me
Yeah,
DXB.
he did his
Come on, you might
research.
Inspire Me.
Talk to me Asian now.
Inspire Me DXB's CEO and founder. So tell us how you got started and what inspired you to start Inspire Me DXB.
Amazing, man. So long story short, right? I feel like, for me, I always had a thing to start something of my own, isn't it? Like I want to start something of my own, whether it's a project or organization as a whole, right? So to go back to what we spoke before as well, I want to talk something about my past entrepreneurship endeavors, right? So I had an idea with my friend during COVID. Everyone's COVID cooped up at home. Shit, I need to do something to kind of create an outlet or just to be productive. I had an idea to start like, and again, event space, but more in catering to universities and whatnot, because I was in uni, right? And the idea is make the best of what you have right now. That was the idea, but it didn't come to fruition because we just had ideas. We had all information and stuff like that, but we couldn't execute it because we realized to get in the space of catering F&B in Dubai, it's a pain in the ass because you need permits. A lot of regulation is there under it, so there's no way of kind of cracking it as youngsters. Right? We were like 18, 19. So that was a fail immediately, but I did it with my good friend. So we kind of had that, we always had that business drive to do something together, right? And it was always like that, and kind of like it kind of turned into, hey, I want to start something more. And I always possessed leadership skills ever since university and school. I've always been part of council, even university. I've been part of kind of leading my football team and things of that sort. So I always had the leadership flair as well. So I know why not kind of merge together and kind of do something more. Right. So InspireMe started off purely as creating community, like an educational platform to kind of inspire the youth and kind of get the whole complacency or complacent mindset of the youth and flip it and kind of get them to, hey, this is what the reality looks like. It's not like you're going to be supported by your dad and mom the rest of your life, right? Which most of us are kind of comfortable. And the second you're comfortable, I believe you're going to go in a downward spiral.
Yeah.
So that was my intention, to kind of change that up, at least in my small way, in our small way. And I got a bunch of my friends who I knew are capable enough around me. Not close friends, but a little further. And I got them like through mutuals and things like that, which I knew they had a unique capability which I didn't have, right? And we got them together and we kind of build the team slowly and slowly. And there's a lot of trial and error. But that is how we started off as a whole, though. But yeah.
So how are you guys doing right now? What is the scene?
Great. So I believe right now what has happened is we've kind of matured when it comes to working together as a team and an organization. There's a lot of compromise, a lot of understanding, a lot of communication, right? So a lot of things be understood through trial and error, though. So it wasn't like we read a manual on how to run a business and then we started off. Me, even running a business, it's not like I've done my international business management course and degree, that paper you get after you graduate, which means jack, right? After you graduate. But what helped me out and what helped me to get the same today is purely because we had a good relationship, right? We kind of built together, we understood what the end goal is, and we just complement each other in a lot of ways, right? With that being said, there were a lot of trial and errors, though. Like we had to part ways. A lot of my good friends and good people we worked with. But it is a process of entrepreneurship and starting a business. It's not all glitz and glam. As you guys know, you both are also starting your own thing as well, right? What you realize is entrepreneurship is not always glamorous as it looks like, and especially is what people assume. Hey, you're running your own enterprise, you must be minting cash left, right, and center. But the fact is, there's a lot of struggling, your teamwork, you're trying to get things internalized, you're trying to fix things out. So, and that process, I don't mind it. I can enjoy it. What about you, Abubakr? Like,
this is something we're doing. We enjoy doing this on a week-to-week basis. I go pick this Parsha every single week because it's kind of pain in the ass. But we come in, the setup's kind of annoying things, right? And we were having a chat when we were coming here, right? Like we come in, we set up the mics week in, week out, right? It is getting a little bit to your nerves, right? But that is how I see it, right? It's all about you have to do boring things consistently.
Yeah.
And
100%.
not just that, I think one apart from just getting the work done, very important thing is the value of work. I know a lot of people, I don't want to name names, but I know a lot of people who don't really value the work. They think everything's straightforward, everything's easy, everything's like put together, right? Very straightforward. There is no granularity in their thinking, there's no complexities in their thinking, and people do all these sort of things, right? And for them, those are the type of people who will be like, what, let's get rid of our entire workforce and replace them with ChatGPT, right? And that is doing the work, coming in and manually doing the work, manually editing the video, doing all this on your own. That is a value to it, right?
100%. Yeah.
What we did initially, right? We used to record our video and we used to go for dinner on a weekly basis, right? We used to go dinner. One person would sponsor the dinner, right? We used to spend like 6-7 people's dinner. The guest also comes with us. Unfortunately, we don't have money for you today, but
I came for that.
but what happens is that we sponsor the guest and sponsors get our lunch, dinner, everything. And Guhaesh was like, why don't we just use that money to get an editor, right? The editor would be significantly cheaper than how much you're spending week in, week out. The editor would do a significantly better job. There is no errors with a proper editor. Why don't we do that? And two things I told him that time was like, one, we are having fun, right? There is no amount of money that can buy fun.
Definitely.
Right? You're not just doing the podcast as a podcast, but you're also connecting with the people, networking with the people.
100%, yeah.
That is one thing. The other important thing is it's very easy to buy things off, right? It's very easy to buy things off, but it's significantly harder to do things. When you do things, you value the work.
Definitely.
Right? So if any of this has to grow, people have to value the work, right? People have to know if somebody's quoting me X amount of money to edit a video, I should know whether the X is overpriced, underpriced, or it's the right price, right? If I don't know that, I'll get fooled, right?
Definitely,
Or I'll be an things. So that is where we are at the moment, and we are.
Beautiful.
We've started this a couple of months ago, and now we are in a place where there is a well-functioning thing, right? One person does this, one person does this, one person does this.
Okay.
But we also like strictly stay away from hierarchies and
Amazing.
everything, right?
Yeah.
I don't want these hierarchies and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But at the
100%.
same time, the rational part of me also believes that
Mm-hmm.
at some point you do need these authorities and hierarchies.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna go south.
100%. I just want to add on two things that you mentioned. That is the everyday mundane task, the function you got to do every day. Editing videos, meeting every weekend when you're supposed to be sitting at home. I think that's something we enjoyed it because we made the process enjoyable. Right? See, what I believe in anything, every business, whatever you're trying to build, even if it's your little passion project, right? Try to make your mundane or your journey enjoyable. Like it comes down to the basics, right? It's not before we jump into the product, before we jump into the technicalities. What I'm more interested in knowing who I'm working with, the basics of them, right? How are they as a person, right? I'm not looking for a goody goody. I'm not looking for a person who's pure hearted. I'm looking for someone who I want to work together with, spend weekends with, right? Because I'm going to spend my time and effort with them. That's more valuable to me than my money I'm going to make, because I believe that's very crucial for me, at least in our age. So I'm very conscious on who I spend that time with. At least I try to a lot. With that being said, make the journey enjoyable is very crucial as well, isn't it? And yeah, 100%, man. It's good to see you guys understanding and scaling up. I feel like it's very fun, the whole aspect of business for me at least. I really like the jumping into the water and trying to figure out how to fix things out, and definitely using a framework to base it off as well. But what be Guhaesh, man? I'm guessing this is your first time you're also jumping into an entrepreneurship line of things, right? Yeah.
It's always been in at the back of my mind, you know. I've always sort of ever since I started uni, I was always looking for friends to start a business with. I know it's like it's not the most wisest thing to do, starting a business with your friend, but you know, at one point you always have to start, you know, regardless of where it is. You can
100%.
build relationships later, but when you get the opportunity, just make use of it.
100%.
So there were a couple of times where we were like with my friends, we were about to start businesses, but you know, something always went the timing was not right, you know. The timing, the thing with timing businesses is you need to start immediately, or else it just sort of
Yeah, it's just on the shelf,
That
right?
aggressiveness is
Yeah.
quite important.
It is very much, very
Right?
much.
You could be doing the wrongest in the world, but
Yeah.
if you're aggressive about it, you learn
100%.
very quickly it's wrong or right.
100%.
Right?
I think the one mentality I have also is kind of like find out what you can do now and make it happen. Right? For example, Abubakr, you come to me today, like, hey, I have this idea to start an ice cream truck, right? I'll be like, hey, okay, that's well and good. How do we start this today? And the fact that what steps do we take today, even if it's small, like example, talking to someone, right? I'd love to know how do we start this today. And that's the mentality I want people to have as well, my team or whoever I collaborate with, because that complacencies I've seen a lot, especially in Dubai for some reason, where you'd be like, hey, let's meet up, let's fix this up, and then it just fizzles out, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad because, yeah,
Right.
I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this as well. Right?
We've seen this quite a lot, right? Like it's with anything, right? People like, so with our case, for example, we started executing, right? We had no plans to make money out of this. We still don't know how we're making money out of it. Like back of our mind, we're like, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. But at some point we knew this podcasting was never going to make a lot of money, at least in this country, right? It's not a region ready for it yet, right? So we are ahead in that region. So we knew for a fact that the podcasting is not going to make money very quickly. It's going to take some time, and it's not going to make us much.
Yeah.
Right. So we knew what we were getting into. Right. We started, we executed, but then, you know, it's not people's complacency, I would say. Right. Today we are missing a couple of people from our crew as well. Right. It's not complacency. It's just people have a lot of things to do. Right. We are not doing this full time. Right. I have work in next morning. You have work. He has work. Emmanuel with us, who's working on a Saturday. Right. All of them have to make their ends meet. Right. So it's less, I would say it's less about complacency. Nobody wants to be like, I want to do call with my life. Right. Everybody wants to do something with their life. It's just that some of the priorities take a higher precedence over certain things. Right. So yes, it does fizzle out. It is a pain in the ass, but we just got to be flexible around it, right?
Definitely. I mean, it boils down to priorities at the end of the day, right? For example, if my priorities right now, career, fitness, and education, right? That is how my everyday day would look like. Definitely balance out with other stuff as well, whether be it partying or meeting friends as well. And so I'm a type of person, I'm really curious to understand with you guys, but I'm a type of person, I like to work. I like to essentially, I hate to use the word hustle. At the same time, I would love to kind of enjoy and reap the enjoy the benefits out of it as well. In the sense that I'd love to enjoy meeting people and a little bit of the fun nature of it, because I believe 20s, essentially my age right now, I'm very experimental, with things in general, life, people, work, or anything of that sort, right? Because I have nothing to lose. I have no commitments.
Yeah.
I'd have to send money back home, right? I'm very curious to understand you both as a person as well when it comes to work-life balance and things like that sorts. What you say on that, you both? Yeah.
You want to go? He's interviewing us today. But go for it.
So I don't know. Currently, I'm just focusing, like you said, focusing on studying and exploring as much as I can. For example, like I know you also are doing a business analytics course on the side.
Yeah.
I'm also learning some skills like SQL, Python. So I'm on that. I've learned this the hard way, that the only way to reach somewhere is to be curious about everything.
100%.
And to be ready and willing to learn at any point, any day, any second of your day. That's very important. So right now I'm focusing on studying and also managing this. This is just like whenever we have time, if we need something done, we just get it done.
Okay.
So if it's like a half an hour job or 1 hour job, we just get it done. It's not like obviously this is going to be a priority when we have to get it done ASAP. So apart from that, my main focus right now is studying. I've been slacking off a little on my fitness. I do a little jiu-jitsu, so I've been I've been slacking off a little.
Yeah.
My coach will tell me to come at least twice a week. I just go once a week. So.
But what are vices, man? What would be like as far
Vices?
as drinking and like how about that scene as of life? I'm very curious on Abubakr as well, because you seem like you're very studious, get the job done kind of profile, but I'm pretty sure you got a side to it as well.
It's a
He doesn't
tough.
have any vices.
Yeah.
Huh?
Go for it. Okay.
No, it's for me. It's a little bit different, right?
Daddy,
Like,
mommy watching.
Go for it, man.
no.
Good expose you,
So I don't drink or go out party.
Okay.
Yeah,
That is
same.
one thing.
Okay.
I'm a type of person. Like for me, the work-life balance is important,
Yeah.
right? But what I consider work is genuine work, tangible
Amazing.
work, not around
Yeah.
here and there. And what I consider life is me meeting the people I'm closest to and meeting the
Amazing.
people I really like to hang out with, or sleeping.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's how much I wouldn't
Sleeping is
Yeah.
so important.
That is
Yeah.
important.
I
Not gonna
wouldn't.
lie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go an extra mile, go out to the parties and everything.
yeah,
As much as possible, I avoid hanging out with unnecessary people. So if you're having this conversation right now, I would consider this work rather than life. So in terms of work-life balance, I would like to work my ass off because I have say 5-6 years on my hand before there's commitments and that and this and so on and so forth. So this 5-6 years is where I have to work my ass off. So I study, I work, I do everything, constantly grind. Sometimes the life part of it is not ideal, but it's fine. It's a small sacrifice that I'm willing to make.
100%.
Where I take the call, however, is I recently quit my job, right? Where I took the thing is that the money aspect of it doesn't really make a difference to me, right? That's largely because I have the privilege of being raised by parents who are reasonably well off after they've struggled a lot, right? They've struggled quite a bit and they've given me a very beautiful life, right?
Amazing.
So the money aspect of it doesn't compel me to go in, day out, just do random things, right? So when I was working with the old company which I just quit, the idea was that let's make a ton of money, right? That of money and the amount of effort has to make sense, wherein when you do eventually make ton of money, you need to have friends to enjoy that with.
100%.
You need to have a family to enjoy that with. You need to be alive to enjoy that, right? If none of these equations add up, then that work is not valuable. It's as simple as that, right? Like, should I have like a perfect work-life balance? This age, probably not, right? This is the time I can around and find out. But 5 years later, I might need to prioritize life over actual work, right? So That is how I look at it. Like, I
100%,
just
man.
go out, get and
Yeah, whatever said and done, I think it again comes down to mindset again. Like I don't say repetitive, but the mindset matters a lot, right? For example, you mentioned you want to be very conscious with the people you surround yourself with. I completely get that. Honestly, I've got that yesterday as well. I was in that little bit of a scenario where I'm like, what am I doing, right? I'm with essentially people who don't have the same vision or the hunger as me. Right? I believe I'm the most hungriest person, and I like to believe that. That keeps me going, right? What I'm trying to get at is what I've kind of understood, try to teach myself is that every relationship cannot be transactional. In a sense, that's what I've realized recently. Some relationships are not work-wise, like some are just pure fun, right?
Yeah.
With that being said, yeah, as you said, right, in the phase we are all in our life right now, liberal sacrifice is well and good. It goes a long way, and I'm fine taking that as well because I'm ready to reap the benefits because of taking the sacrifice or not. Regardless, it's a journey, isn't it? And yeah, that's something I believe in.
this is one aspect, right? Like you said, relationships are not transactional. I would say otherwise, right? I would say every relationship is transactional. You work for an employer because the employer pays you. The employee works for that person, right? Transactional. You hang out with certain people. I hang out with Guhaesh with the idea that he entertains me, I entertain him, and we are in good company, right? So everything is transactional technically, right?
Physically or something else.
Some transaction
some
is
physical,
there. Usually physical, or sometimes even emotional transaction is there, right?
There's this book called Give and Take by Adam Grant. Yeah. So it basically explains that, like you said, every relationship is there's a give and there's a take. There's always a giver and there's a taker, but what makes a relationship amazing is that both of them give and take at the same time.
100%.
So for example, if I'm calling you on this podcast, right, and you're basically giving your time, and if we don't value that, and if we don't make something of it, it's like we're just taking your time, and we're not giving anything back. It's so even that is like that makes it transactional.
Definitely.
Right? I would call us friends, right? So it's like every even your parents, right? There's always a give and take. I mean, always there's unconditional love.
There's unconditional love as well, but this is where the the Western and the Indian mentalities change, right? So what happens in the Western thing is like you're 18, you're kicked out of the house, you have to do this, and then like in return, what the kids do is they put them in like a hospice, right? Right, very it's after 18 that emotional connection with your parents just fizzles out, right? But in our culture, and there's a good thing if you ask me, right? They take care of us, and in return we take care of them.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that is a good thing to
that's
have.
That's the give and take. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be okay superficially. See, there's an unconditional aspect of love in it, but there is still at bottom line there is your parents are giving everything to you and you're taking everything from them. All their resources, you're making use of it. And you have to, like, as Asians, we are sort of programmed to give everything. Our whole lives, we want to make something for them. We want to do something for them, build them a house,
at least minimum make them proud.
Exactly.
You spoke about the whole Western and Indian. I kind of like the in between, right? Like not too much or not too not much of Western.
For sure.
I like that purely because even for me, my bringing up was not like, hey, pamper, hey, this way, you need something, here you go, right? I kind of like that because that kind of got me hungrier and got me, I need to be self-sufficient, right? So that's why I started working it very early on. That's why I was very curious to go out of the box and essentially be rebellious and otherwise unorthodox and trying to do things my own way, right? And I kind of love that because that's what that quality is instilled in me today, that the hunger, I want to do something in my life and I need to do something in my life regardless, right? Because it's my hands. And I like that because what I reflected upon me is I've become more self-reliant. I don't depend on much people because I know what I have to do is what I have to do, and I can manage myself. And I feel like that's priceless, having that hunger, having that constant drive, in a sense that you're always self-driven in a lot of scenarios, right? Whether it's, again, I believe there are like 6 segments of life, to go more deeper. Is like this career, fitness, relationship building, spiritual, religious. Forgot the last one. So I feel the idea is to kind of get an equilibrium in all these segments. Not like you get work is 10x,
Yeah.
but your physical fitness or your health is like 2x, right? That is, you can have things in balance, in proportion. Purely because then I believe you're living a fulfilling life, or essentially you're living a holistic life, right?
Yeah,
Not just leaning towards one angle. Because the fact of the matter is, if you do lean across it, there'll be a tip in the scale, and you'll have bad health or you lose a job, right? Two things I've seen what happens with that, the environment. You lack a sense of judgment, which is so crucial for thriving in the world, or essentially even sustaining this world. Two is I forgot my train of thought. I think again to go back to the lack of sense of judgment, right? You need to know how to maneuver yourself in the world, who to trust, who to work with, what to do as well, right? I think that's so, when people make decisions for you, you get into that luxury, and you never get that thing. And the other one is I want to say is also you get very, you don't develop a thick skin, which is very, very much needed. I believe, the word snowflakes, right? I've seen a lot of snowflakes these days, in a sense. I'm not saying I'm really tough-hearted, but you need a little bit of toughness. You need a little bit of that grit to move past it, right? And that's important, I believe. You need to have the mental toughness.
For sure.
Yeah, what do you think of that, man?
Yeah, it's there's this whole psychology book written on grit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like I don't read a lot of books, but I listen to a lot of podcasts. So there's Angela Duckworth's book called Grit, and she describes the most successful people are not talented, but they have that grit.
Hunger,
they have
right?
that. They have the heart. They have the drive to achieve. So I absolutely agree with you on this. It's very different when you've been given everything, and but even if you've been given everything, there should be the drive.
Thank you for being here.
Definitely.
It's a very good conversation we've had. Obviously, a lot of disturbances, a lot of but we got to improvise and keep on moving.
Definitely, man. Yeah.
All right.
It was fun, guys. It was a good conversation with you a lot.
Lovely, man.
Yeah, I feel it's good to have these refreshing conversations here and there.
For sure.
But yeah.
Where do people reach out to you? How can people reach out to you?
Sure.
Tell us a little bit more of how people can reach out to Inspire Me towards that camera.
I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. You can find me. My LinkedIn ID is Aditya Krishnan. I do post content here and there whenever I have the chance, when I'm out for a talk or whatever it is. Apart from Inspire Me, what it is, we're creating a platform for the youth, people to connect, network, and grow. Nothing crazy. We just want to build a community for everyone to come together and see how things goes. Inspire Me Dubai, the ID is InspireMeDXB22. You can check us on Instagram. We're pretty active there. It was really fun meeting you guys as well. Definitely interested to see how things can grow together. And no, it's a fun idea. It was a fun session, Yeah.
All right.
Amazing.
Thank you for watching. Hopefully next time we have our exact venue back. But thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.
See you.